stop that. Oops, I forgot all about that. Right. Won't too long. Okay. I am live, thank you everybody. So it will be F 12, 15, not 20, 13, 17. 23. 14. 16. 8. Yep. That's because no.
Yeah. Ah, yeah. Oh, you're a good girl, aren't you? Very nice. That's it. All gone. You got it. Oh. Oh. Be like, I'm on it. I'm on it. I think you're getting there. You're nearly done it now.
Mhm.
Get another one online. Get one online. Good girl, you finish eating that. Now I've got some fucking holes to drill. Where's me drill? Get these fucking holes done. And then I've got another hole to cut.
It's such strange to me. Everybody go to the bone. Feel the heat. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Thank you.
Then an impassioned search. Law enforcement and the local community spared no effort. But would they piece together the evidence and find her before it was too late?
In 1989, in front of close to 200 witnesses, a child disappeared. 5-year-old Melissa Brennan vanished from a Christmas party at her mother's apartment complex in Virginia. Children have a way of wandering off, but it soon became clear this was more than a case of a lost child. Someone had taken Melissa. What sorrow compares to a mother's grief? What kind of monster preys on children? I'm Jim Kallstrom, former director of the FBI's New York office. The hunt for Melissa galvanized the community as a nation held its breath and waited for word. All victims deserve justice. All criminals must be punished.
Oh, hello.
But when a crime involves a child, the stakes
No sound.
become so much greater.
Can you hear me? There is sound.
On December 3rd,
here.
1989, the Woodside apartment complex.
Can you hear me, Linda? Oh, phew. Yeah, no, I was just quiet, that's all. I was just quiet. You hear me now. Oh, good, good. How are you doing, Linda? Yeah, that's why I put my crime documentaries on, because it helps distract me. And not only that, with the, cause I know quiet is good, but I have tinnitus, so yeah. It helps with the noise in the background, you know, with the listening to the documentary, if that makes sense. Oh, I'm sure you're nervous. I understand that fully. But if it's gonna help, yeah. So that's why you hear all that. Hear, not see, hear the crime stories on the Art Live, because it helps me. And I didn't realise I was broadcasting it until Nicole was saying something about it. I was like, what? I thought it was just me because I have my hearing aids on. Hearing aids in my ears, so it was coming from there, and I didn't realise I could broadcast it, just broadcast the sound of the documentary. So yeah, I like the quiet, but sometimes my tinnitus gets a bit nutty, and it drives me nuts. That's why sometimes it's good to have, when Gary watches his TV shows at night, it's good for me because of my tinnitus. It helps me block out the noises. Smudgy, she's alright. Yesterday she had a full day in bed. She didn't get out of bed until about 5:30 in the afternoon. She doesn't like the noises very much, especially the drilling, so she hides. But other than that, she's a wide awake. I just found a picture of oh bugger. Left my mobile upstairs. I found a picture of her when we first got her. Acting all innocent. So cute. Yeah, she didn't get out of bed until 5:30 like yesterday. So it was a total day off. Yep, that 5 years down the line, and then she can be a little bugger, but you can't stay mad at her forever. Gave her her first mummy cuddles for a while, and it's like, ooh. But she snuggles up to me when I'm in bed. Speak of the devil. I can hear her. I think it was December, the beginning of December. Yeah, I love having snuggles with her. I think it was December the 5th. No, December the 13th. That's when we got her. And she was 13 weeks old when we got her at that time. That one. It was 2018. I think 2019, something like that. Oh, I can't remember what day, what time, what year. So 14 is H. I was going to either call her Fluffy or Poppy. But the name was already... I don't know what he's on, but can I have some?
Go get it out. It's got a hole for your front fan now. Nearly there. Hi, Linda. Oh, your eye surgery. Ooh. Yeah. Okay, kitty. Yeah. Oh. Okay. You okay, Bubby? Oh, yeah. There you go. There. There you go. Hello.
Oh, I'm glad.
Found a way to watch my favourite British series, Last Tango. Ah, good. Good. I was watching Tex-Mex Motors all weekend, wasn't I?
It's actually pretty good because I have seen some of it.
Yeah. now I've got to set up another round of cutting with a cutting disc. I've got another hole to cut, and then I've got to wait till when panels come in from China.
Right.
So they should leave Hong Kong tonight. And my motherboard's on its way on 24-hour delivery. Oh, can those sort out? Yeah, Tex-Mex Motors, where they go over to Mexico and fetch the cars back and then do them up. Well good. Been enjoying that.
And that is how I got into cars too. Then again, my mum and dad, well, my dad, even though he was a massive fisherman, he was still watching all these car shows and stuff. So I was brought up.
Yeah, good girl. Yeah. And put her on the chair.
She's right next to me.
Yeah, put her on the chair. He's on the chair.
I've been having very, very strange dreams, but some of them I don't remember them, which is good. It's just, it's been a bit freaky. It's almost like nightmares, but then they're not. They're just weird. It's like for the past, excuse the noise. If only that dream would come true. You had a newborn baby. On occasion, the weirdest dreams that I've had so lately is me owning a home, even though I have a home now, now, of course. But no, I meant this is what the dreams that I've been having. Can I just explain? You haven't even freaking. Ugh. Gary, shut up. You haven't even He hasn't even freaking listened to what I was gonna say. Cheeky git. as I was saying, I kept dreaming that I was going to an empty house. It's rude to interrupt. Bugger off. No, it was just weird because even though obviously I own this home, but in my dreams I was looking for a home, found a home, and then leaving it to go somewhere else. I was like, what the hell is this dream? It's just weird. I am not weird. Well, if that case, then you're the Prince of fucking Sheba. It's just the reoccurring dreams that freak me out the most. But most of the time I don't remember the dreams I had, which is a good thing. I have the odd storm one now and then, but not like I used to. And then there's some dreams I'm like finding my mum and dad, and it's like, can't find them. And yes, he is a cheeky bugger. Computer. I think he's cutting the computer case. He's always working on something, Linda.
am I working on? A sex swing.
Liar.
I'm working on a computer case. I'm trying to get a computer case finished, and then I've got another one to do. Right, there you go, Linda. Take care, love.
See you later, Linda.
Yeah, I'm working on a computer case. I've got to cut a load of holes in it for fans.
I bet. You wish sex swing imagining. My there you go.
See you later, Linda. You ruined me dreams.
Nice one, Linda. Well, you wanted to do it. Right. 16. No, that was 12, not 5. Not 16.
In 1989, residents of a close-knit apartment community in Virginia gathered for a holiday celebration. For Tammy Brannon and 5-year-old daughter Melissa, Christmas was always a special time. Then, without warning, the little girl was gone. Her disappearance ignited an impassioned search. Law enforcement and the local community spared no effort. But would they piece together the evidence and find her before it was too late?
In 1989, in front of close to 200 witnesses, a child disappeared. 5-year-old Melissa Brennan vanished from a Christmas party at her mother's apartment complex in Virginia. Children have a way of wandering off, but it soon became clear this was more than a case of a lost child. Someone had taken Melissa. What sorrow compares to a mother's grief? What kind of monster preys on children? I'm Jim Kallstrom, former director of the FBI's New York office. The hunt for Melissa galvanized the community as the nation held its breath and waited for word. All victims deserve justice. All criminals must be punished. But when a crime involves a child, the stakes become so much greater.
On December 3rd, 1989, the Woodside apartment complex in Lorton, Virginia held its Yuletide Christmas party. The Woodside was a large but friendly complex, a community that revolved around family life and children's activities. The kids were always excited about the party, which meant special treats and presents. A single mom, Tammy Brannon, had found in the Woodside complex a safe community in which to raise her only child, Melissa. As the evening wound down, Tammy stopped to visit with a friend before going home.
Can we go get some potato chips?
Okay, we'll come right back.
Okay.
Okay.
She lost sight of her daughter for only a few seconds. But that was long enough for a mother's worst nightmare to begin.
Melissa? Melissa? Melissa?
Melissa disappeared. The Fairfax County, Virginia Police Department was called immediately. Detective Bill Wilden assured Tammy they would do all they could to find her little girl. The detectives began questioning the people at the party. No one could recall seeing Melissa leave the party or anywhere near the front door.
I'm Detective Wilden. This is Rappaport with
Richard Rappaport, the Fairfax Department search commander, joined Detective Wilden to organize the search party. He would head up the investigation.
Does everyone understand?
One of the possibilities, of course, was that she had just hidden somewhere in the building, was playing with some friends, or had wandered off. So immediately the patrol officers on the scene did a very good job of searching the building, and they began a search of the immediate area surrounding the building. The night of December 3rd was a bitterly cold night in the Washington area. Someone outside that was 5 years old without a lot of protection probably would not have survived through the night. It was that cold.
Rappaport coordinated a more specific grid search of the area with patrol officers and dozens of volunteers from the complex. The search effort began. Nearly 100 neighbors, police, and Army personnel from nearby Fort Belvoir combed the woods around the complex. Most were parents themselves, united by a single concern: to find Melissa. Like the detectives, they expected to find a shivering and frightened little girl lost in the dark woods and crying for her mother. Officers began to question the 200 people who had attended the party and interview over 400 other Woodside residents. Though the complex was large, many residents knew Melissa and knew her to be very shy. Shocked to hear that she had disappeared, almost all expressed doubt that she would ever have gone off without her mother, and certainly not with a stranger. Detective Wilden went with Tammy to her apartment to interview her. He questioned her extensively about her past and possible troubles with her neighbors or employer. An accountant, she had never had any problems with anyone. Tammy had lived at Woodside for over 3 years since her divorce from her husband in Texas. She had experienced the normal readjustments of a newly single mom, but she and her ex-husband were on good terms. When detectives discovered an open window in the furnace room, Jim Gogan, the crime scene investigator for the Fairfax County Police Department, was asked to examine it.
The way the door was set up, everybody had to either go through the crowd to get out the front of the building. That was the main door and the only door available to get out, with the exception of the hallway down to the bathrooms and the furnace room. They had large windows, and then in the furnace room itself had a window what was discovered open. And from there, the assumption was made that possibly that's how she was taken from the building.
Melissa's disappearance was suddenly far more complicated. The search for a missing child had become a possible abduction case. The police continued their questioning with even greater urgency and began to hear repeated mention of the strange, even bizarre behavior of the maintenance man for the complex. Several of the women reported how offended they were by extremely vulgar sexual propositions made to them by Caleb Hughes.
There was a possibility that if she had been abducted for sexual purposes, that she might be molested, but we were very, very hopeful that we could at least find her alive before her life was in jeopardy.
Now that they were dealing with a possible abduction case, detectives returned to Tammy's apartment and collected nightgowns, hairbrushes, and bedclothes, any items bearing traces of Melissa. As detectives continued questioning the people at the party, they learned more disturbing details about Hughes' behavior that night. He had spent what seemed to many to be an unusual amount of time playing games with the children. He made the parents uneasy by touching the kids. there was something unsettling, something indecent about him.
At the party, he was not dressed as well as the rest of the people where his work clothes. He mingled with some of the people he knew at the party, and he spent some time talking with Melissa's mother, making comments about Melissa, and offered to take Melissa and a couple of the other children to the restroom if they needed to go. He just had some very suspicious behavior from a man of his age around the children.
With growing suspicion, the detectives tried repeatedly to reach Hughes by phone, and then went to his house, but were told by his wife that she had no idea where he might be.
He had left the party sometime before our arrival there. He lived only 4 miles away, but it took us several hours for us to contact him because he had not yet returned home.
Finally, 2.5 hours after Melissa's disappearance, Caleb Hughes called the police, who then returned to his house. Upon questioning, he claimed he had simply taken the long way home. The officers immediately noticed he was wearing different clothing from that reported by witnesses at the party. In the washing machine, they found the clothes Hughes had been wearing, as well as his sneakers and a leather belt with a knife sheath. The knife was missing.
He'd been gone for several hours, and to come home in the middle of the night when your family was asleep and to feel the immediate need to wash everything you had been wearing, including your shoes, we found that rather suspicious behavior, and that just further added to our interest in his whereabouts.
As Hughes appeared reluctant to speak in front of his wife, the officers decided to take him to headquarters for further questioning. Suspecting that Hughes might be covering for time spent with a girlfriend, the officers wanted to allow him the opportunity to tell the real story.
Do you know Melissa Brannon?
No, I do not.
To the detective's surprise, there was no real story. Hughes had no alibi. He claimed he had no idea who Melissa was, that he had driven the long way home alone after picking up a six-pack, and then had simply washed his clothes.
You normally wash your shoes with your clothes? Were they dirty?
He said as an excuse that they were his only clothes. He had to be working the next day. They were dirty, so he needed to clean them.
Look, I might be in charge with anything.
Despite hours of intense questioning, Hughes remained smug and evasive.
Free to go.
Finally, Detective Wilden told him he was free to go, though he was almost certain Hughes was lying.
Well, you're gonna have to prove it then, aren't you?
As far as the Fairfax County Police Department was concerned, Caleb Hughes was the prime suspect. Believing Caleb Hughes was involved in Melissa's disappearance, Detective Bill Wilden contacted Fairfax County Commonwealth Attorney Robert Moran.
It was a suspected homicide, certainly by then. He made some statements that were out of character for somebody who really is a suspect in a crime of this nature. You would normally think the minute somebody would suggest you or I have abducted a 5-year-old child, I mean, you would think it would be the most vigorous, vehement outburst. Of course I did. Well, they got nothing like that. Matter of fact, at one point he said to Wilden, "Prove it." Which is, again, an unusual reaction for somebody who had nothing to do with it.
Gogan had photocopied Melissa's picture and printed hundreds of flyers to help in the search.
And as the sun came up, the search expanded into further down south on the highway. They sent soldiers out to do massive searches through the woods, along the railroad tracks, and as possible ideas of locations where she might have been were developed, again, hundreds of people were gathered to search and walk those areas.
The car Hughes had been driving that night belonged to his wife. She gave investigators permission to impound and search it. Detectives examined it for fingerprints, blood, fibers, hair, any evidence that would document Melissa's presence there. Fingerprint tests revealed that only the Hughes family had left prints on the car. Next, all the hairs and fibers needed to be collected from the interior. This type of trace evidence was usually retrieved with a vacuum cleaner, but there was simply too much debris inside.
When I first approached the car and looked inside, I just kind of went, whoa. They had 2 large dogs. They carried them a lot in that car. It was just cluttered with dirt and debris and just a mess inside that car. And I just kind of shook my head like this is going to be a real challenge. So I decided to use the masking tape as an alternative to the vacuum cleaner, just hoping to just get what was on the surface.
That was an unusual technique, certainly. In my years, that was the first time I ever had run into it in the Fairfax Police Department. And it's a very common technique now.
Gauguin then placed the tape between layers of clear plastic so that it could be examined intact under a microscope. As the car processing continued, Melissa's disappearance quickly became the lead news story in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area.
Melissa Brannon is 3 feet tall, 48 pounds, with blue eyes and dark blonde, shoulder-length hair. She was last seen wearing a pink ski jacket, red plaid skirt, and black shoes with gold buckles.
The night of the party, Melissa had been wearing a navy blue acrylic sweater with a Sesame Street Big Bird picture, red tights, a red cotton plaid skirt, and a pink parka.
When I found the revenue fibers that were visible on the tape, I did kind of get excited about that. But at the time I was excited but worried because we needed to find her to identify the clothes.
Right, I'm gonna call it.
Without Melissa.
I shall see you guys later on. Thank you for joining us. Those
When
do
Gauguin
that
conducted
had.
luminol testing on the interior of
I will
Hughes's
be
car,
live
he
at
found
10:30
traces of blood on
UK
the steering
time.
wheel, brake pedal, and floor mat.
And I shall see you guys in. See you later. Bye everybody.